Church is more than just a building, more than wood or metal or brick. Church is how we love our neighbor. Church is how we tend to the sick, feed the hungry and heal the suffering, welcome strangers and give to the poor. All our service is as worship, all are present an open door. Church is more than a weekly gathering. Church is faith that's come alive, filling hearts and minds with passion, peace and hope that ever abide. Even as the building's empty, we are touched by the deepest of grace. When the Holy lives within us, we are in a holy place. We're the church in the path we follow, showing care to those in pain. In the midst of fear and sorrow, we're the church, and here we'll remain, seeking justice, showing kindness, singing praises in all that we do. Church is more than just a building, it's our work toward a world made new. Oh, I'm not good at this. Good morning. Welcome to the live in-person and live Zoom worship service of the Universalist Unitarian Church of Riverside. Our opening hymn this morning is number 16, "'Tis a Gift to be Simple," from the Gray Hymnal. Feel free to sing as the Spirit moves you, and stand and embody your spirit, and join us in singing hymn number 16, "'Tis a Gift to be Simple."
Tis the gift to be simple, tis the gift to be free, tis the gift to come down where we ought to be. And when we find ourselves in the place just right, 'twill be in the valley of love and delight. When true simplicity is gained, to bow and to bend we shan't be ashamed. To turn will be our delight, till by turning we come round right. 'Tis the gift to be gentle, 'tis the gift to be fair, 'tis the gift to wake and breathe the morning air, and every day to walk in the path we choose. 'Tis the gift that we pray we may ne'er come to lose. When true simplicity is gained, to bow and to bend we shan't be ashamed. To turn will be our delight, till by turning we come round right.
Thank you for joining us here in person, and thank you for joining us remotely by Zoom. where we will continue live streaming and posting these services on our YouTube channel for all of our virtual attendees. I'm Grace Preuss, a member of the worship committee, and I will be your worship associate today. Other members of the worship committee who make this service possible include Alec Peck, our music coordinator, Adam Wedeking, who monitors our visual and online connections, and Kate Lewicki, who is in charge of our sound system. We welcome you to join us this morning with an open mind and an open heart, and with muted electronic devices, please. We come together this morning to remind one another that we are connected in mystery and miracle, awareness and gratitude. We have come to this time and place to explore different spiritual perspectives together, develop a faith that is personally meaningful, and to bring our gifts of love and service to this community and to each other. Once again, welcome and thank you for joining us here today. Ramadan, the 9th month of the Muslim calendar, is one of the most sacred times for Muslims. It is a month of fasting, prayer, reflection, and community. This year, Ramadan is celebrated from Sunday, March 10th to Tuesday, April 9th. Before we move into the service, there are a few announcements we'd like to share. We will mention several websites, email addresses, and phone numbers. At the end of the service, we will leave up a slide with all of this information, and it is also available on our website. First, we'd like to send out a great thank you to the St. Patrick's Day lunch that we had yesterday. Thank you to Kate, Robert, Avery, and everyone who is here to make this a very special event. We hope you join us on our next lunch series. Okay, so joys and concerns. Sharing joys and concerns is one of the important rituals in our community, an opportunity to share milestones, losses, achievements, and experiences with one another. Now that our doors are open again, on the first Sunday of each month, we can both hear from those in the sanctuary and read the contributions that we have received. In front of the pulpit, there is a book where you can write your joys and concerns. There usually is a book whenever you are here in the sanctuary. And for those of you at home, you can send your joys and concerns throughout the month to uuchurchofriverside@gmail.com. Our next joys and concerns will be on April 7th. Membership Pledge Meeting. Next week, UUCR is holding our annual pledge meeting. This is an opportunity to turn our attention to the gifts we receive from and give to our spiritual home. Your membership pledges are a significant part of the funds necessary to keep our doors open to serve our congregation and our community at large. On Sunday, March 24th, after the service, there will be a discussion about our goals for next year, followed by lunch. Please RSVP by email to admin@uuchurchofriverside.org by Thursday, March 21st, or by phone at 951-686-6515. Please look out for an email with information about the pledge luncheon. This becomes increasingly critical due to the current size of our membership. In preparation for the pledge meeting, we encourage all of our members to reflect on the personal reasons we attend and support this church, the collective rewards of stewardship, and what we can do to increase our membership, and feedback on what suggestions or improvements you may have to make your pledge worthwhile. We will be passing out a form now where you can write down your thoughts to share at next week's stewardship service. We encourage you to find some time to think about it, fill it out, and bring it to the service to share with us next Sunday. As always, we sincerely appreciate all of your gifts of time, treasure, and talent to our shared spiritual home. I'm sorry? Okay. Kate just said that whoever wants to attend can RSVP to Kate. Okay, and your email is just okay. And Kate's email will be found in the directory. Or treasurer. The Social and Environmental Justice Committee meeting is today in the annex at 11:30. You can find the Zoom link and more information on the website under Social and Environmental Justice. Now, I'd like to invite Adam Whittaking, Chair of the Social and Environmental Justice Committee, to tell us about a new project.
Just wanted to let everybody know about the upcoming anti-racist summit that CART is putting on, the Center Against Racism and Trauma. You can't hear me? Okay. Sorry. Just wanted to let you all know about the upcoming anti-racist summit that CART is putting on, the Center Against Racism and Trauma. It is, I believe, next week. Yeah, Thursday, March 21st. It's on Zoom. So sign up, the destroyracism.org/events. You can sign up there and they will send you a link and you can join by Zoom. Dolores Huerta will be there. It should be a really great event. So if you can, sign up. This Thursday, yeah, the 21st.
Thank you, Adam. And now I invite you to sit back and take a slow, deep breath as we move into our worship hour. You are welcome to read with me the mission statement of our church. Our mission is to foster a diverse religious community that celebrates life, affirms the individual, encourages spiritual growth and open thought, and works to advance social justice and environmental sustainability. We are happy to welcome back today's guest speaker, Sonya Murray. Our speaker states, both my paternal and maternal grandmothers were magical practitioners. My maternal grandmother was a root worker and a green witch. My paternal grandmother was a voodoo priestess. I am taught by both, and I call myself a hippie witch. Sonya Murray is also an ordained pagan minister. I am a Navy veteran, a mother of 2, and a grandmother of 8. I am an ordained minister and have a bachelor's degree in philosophy from UC San Diego. I have a YouTube channel called Earthy Wise Woman. One of the 6 sources of our UU tradition is spiritual teachings of earth-centered traditions which celebrate the sacred circle of life and instruct us to live in harmony with the rhythms of nature. Everything turns. Life comes out of death, and from death, life emerges. We see signs of this every day and grow from learning how to deal with and rejoice in it. We learn how this birth, death, and rebirth cycle affirms our existence. We have 2 lightings of sacred flames. The first is the occupied Indigenous peoples' remembrance candle. The second is the lighting of our own chalice, the symbol of our faith. We walk upon the traditional territories of diverse and sovereign peoples, the original people of this land who continue to cry out for justice and self-determination. This spot we occupy was first the sacred space of several groups of Indigenous peoples, including the Cahuilla, the Cupeño, and the Serrano. We, the Universalist Unitarian Church of Riverside, light this sacred flame as the stewards of this sacred and holy place. We are blessed with a space and opportunity to strive to live out our common principles, to bring justice, equity, and compassion into our daily lives, to resist all that threatens the earth and her people, and to be part of a world community with peace, liberty, and justice for all. Let these thoughts carry us forth as we journey and worship together. Today's reading for our chalice lighting is Springtime Call to Worship by Susan Davison Archer. The earth is warming, the bird song increases, the sweeter breezes brush our cheeks, and the earth holds hope in its seeds and buds. Come, let us gather together this morning with joyful noise, with warm hearts, and with hopeful spirits. For we are one with the renewal of the earth and blessedly held in the love of one another. Thank you, Bill. We have a tradition at UUCR to welcome those who are visitors or perhaps returning after some time away. We know it can be uncomfortable to stand up and speak in front of others. And so now I will ask a volunteer from someone who has been here for a while to tell us your name and how you found out about our church. We ask you to step close to the mic here in front of the pulpit and speak into it directly and clearly so that everyone can hear. Please be aware that you will be visible on our Zoom camera and in the recording of this service, which is posted online. Do we have any church members who'd like to volunteer today? Hi, Sandra. Good morning. Good, thank you.
Okay, there we go. Okay, good morning. My name is Sandra Verhagen. Okay, good morning. My name is Sandra Verhagen, and I found this church by accident. I was looking for another speaker and I came here by mistake. I transposed the numbers on the address. But I liked what Matthew had to say, and so I stayed, and it's been about 21 years, because that was 2000, no, 11 years, because it was 2013. So it's been a while.
Nice. Thank you, Sandra. And that's how it's done. So if you are new here, a visitor or an old friend, please raise your hand to stand and come up to the mic in front of the pulpit. Do we have any new visitors today who'd like to introduce themselves? Hello. Welcome up. Good morning.
I'm Chelsea. We're from Beaumont. I'm here with my two kiddos today. I found this church through the mutual aid work that you do out at the Riverside Free Market. And we have never been to a service before, but we're excited to be here. Thank you.
Welcome. Thank you for coming. Is there anyone else who'd like to come up and introduce themselves? Morning.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Daniel. How I found myself here, I was just driving by one day. I live up the street on Orange, but as everyone does nowadays, I Googled, what this congregation church was about, and I really liked what I was reading. And it's my first time here, but so far I'm getting a really good feeling. So I have a feeling I'll be back.
Oh,
Thank you.
nice. Thank you, Daniel. We hear from a lot of people who say they were walking by or driving by, were curious to see what was going on inside. So yes, so we welcome everybody who wants to come in. Is there anyone else? Adam, is there anyone online who'd like to introduce themselves? No one is there? Okay. So for any other guests, please join us for socializing and coffee hour after the service. We'd love to chat with you out in the parish hall, where you can also find our visitors book. Please leave your name before you leave so that we know you are here, and leave your contact information if you'd like to know about upcoming events. For those online, the best way to get added to the mailing list is to email the church office at admin@uuchurchofriverside.org. Our next hymn is number 123, Spirit of Life, from the Gray Hymnal. Feel free to sing as the Spirit moves you, and stand and body your spirit and join us in singing number 123, Spirit of Life. This portion of our service is to support our beloved historical church. This can be accomplished in several ways. In addition to the weekly collection, you may send your checks to the church address, which is shown here. You may also contribute by PayPal using the QR code, which is shown here, as well as on the church website and in the newsletter. Stater Brothers Market gives our church a rebate on Stater grocery cards, which we will have in church each Sunday. Amazon gifts are also available. You get the full value, and the church also receives a percentage for free. Please see Dinah Rowe or Robert Braun in the church office if you are interested in purchasing the gift cards. Please donate as the Spirit moves you by whatever method works best for you. We thank you for your generosity. To those who give of their time and their talent, thank you for your generous care and attention. And to all of you who have joined us here today, thank you for the gift of your presence. Will our ushers now please come forward to receive the collection? Our next hymn is number 402, From You I Receive, from the Gray Hymnal. Again, feel free to sing as the Spirit moves you, and stand and body your spirit, and join us in singing number 402, From You I Receive.
From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, from this we live.
From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live.
Our meditation today is It Matters What We Believe. This is a responsive reading, and I invite you to read aloud the bold italicized lines projected on the slide. Some beliefs are like walled gardens. They encourage exclusiveness and the feeling of being especially privileged. Some beliefs are like shadows, clouding children's days in fears of unknown calamities. Some beliefs are divisive, separating saved from unsaved, friends from enemies. Some beliefs are like blinders, shutting off the power to choose one's own direction. Some beliefs weaken a person's selfhood. They blight the growth of resourcefulness. Some beliefs are rigid, like the body of death, impotent in a changing world. Now let us pause for a moment of silence and reflection. Now I would like to introduce Sonya Marie, who will be speaking to us on the circle of life. It ain't just a song.
Good morning, everyone. How are you? Well, today I'm going to be speaking, of course, on the circle of life, but also I want to mention that we are also about to celebrate in a few more days Astora. And Astora is spring in all its glory. The colors are brighter, the days are longer, and the smells of all the growth is in the air. You want to almost just go around dancing naked because it's there. The grass is greener than it ever is before, and everything around us is growing and thriving, and life is abundant. Now, this week, I had to go to the other side of that circle. I lost a very good friend of mine, and I lost my uncle. And I'm like, deity, I got to talk about the circle of life, and I'm not experiencing life right now. And then I was touched because I realized one thing. I forgot about the sacredness of the circle and what it really represents. See, there's more, there's not a side to the circle. It's a circle. I'm like, well, yeah, I got that. It's a circle. But here's the important part about that. We forget, we always look at the life side, and that's the best side, let's face it. But the death side is there too. And in such, we appreciate the life side because it is a circle. I'm not going to diverse, but I want to just say when I had the phone call about my uncle, I went outside and I looked around my garden. And I decided, well, let me just keep busy, do that busy work that we do when we're not feeling so great. So I decided to just finally get around to weeding my cucumber plants. Had to get them ready, had to get the old ones out of there. They were dead and branches all over the place. It wasn't looking so good. And I'm looking down and I'm hoeing up all of these dead branches from the cucumber plants. And I thought about the plant. I'm like, I got a good yield. That plant gave me like 16, 17 cucumbers. Real good yield. I was really happy about that. And as I was hoeing up the ground, I looked over to the left and there was a blueberry bush that I had planted. And I had thought that blueberry bush had died and hadn't died. And it was just been smothered by the other, by the vines from the cucumber plants, but it hadn't died. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, out of all this dying plant, this one living plant got fertilized. Oh, well, that's kind of nice. And I finished up and I looked over at the strawberries and was kind of pruning them and a lot of dead leaves. But there was some new growth in the middle of all that. And I realized, I said, okay, very simple lesson. Within the death, there's life, okay. But then I realized, wait a minute. This is a dance. This is a symphony that we're playing here. Yes, my uncle passed away, but the same moment that my uncle passed away, somebody else was born. Somebody else's were born. Somebody else passed away. Somebody else was born. Somebody passed away. And it was a circle. It is a circle. And that's the sacredness of a circle. Because somebody said, well, you need to tell what's the symbol of the circle. The circle is continual. You don't know where it ends. You don't know where it begins. It's continual. And that is sacred. We live the circle every single day of our lives and we don't even realize it. We don't have to because it is a part of who we are every day. We win, we lose, we win, we lose, and we're like, well, that's not fair. But what is fair? Because for me to always have fair, somebody else is going to have unfair, and that's not fair to them. So it's fair to me, but it's a circle. We're going to get the good, we're going to get the bad, and in such, we get the circle and the balance. Now, I was trying to find some more lofty examples of what a circle is, but it is equality too. When I was doing some historical history about the circle, I came up upon when we had to sign the peace agreement in 1973, June 27th, for Vietnam. And they had to sit at the negotiation table. And I'm like, oh, well, okay, they sat at a negotiation table. They didn't just sit at a negotiation table, they sat at a circle. They literally made a point of designing that table to be round. And what is the point of that? It made everybody equal. Everybody was on solid ground. Everybody came to that circle because there was no head of the table. There was no lesser. Everybody was equal. And that is true with us as our lives. Life and death is an equal. Nobody rich, nobody poor can escape it. But if we don't have death, we do not appreciate life. And in fact, we care about life so much, we would go to war to defend it, which means we'd be willing to die in order for others to live. And thus there is a circle in that. Even in The Lion King, because we have some youngsters here, we're going to point that out. When Mustafa was talking to his son, and he's like, but Dad, we eat the zebras. And yeah, they do eat the zebras, but the lion dies, the lion fertilizes the grass grows, the zebra eats the grass, and the circle continues. Also, another historical fact, most of you have heard of King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table. What made that so great? When those knights came to that table and King Arthur sat at that table, there was no head of the table. King Arthur was equal to his knights. And that's how they were able to get together and make decisions, because no man was greater than the other man. And in a circle, no one is greater than the other. And that's also the sacredness of a circle. We're all equal. There's no corners, there's no points, there's no top, there's no bottom. It's continual, and there's no end, and there is no beginning. There is no end, and there is no beginning. It is going on and on. And in this world right now, we're dealing with a lot of things. We're dealing with worrying about too much cold, too much hot. I'm not even going to go into the details of the words of what I mean, but you get the idea of environmental changes. And this does kind of, nick up on that circle. And, is there a solution? Care for each other, care for our earth. And remember, we are not the stewards. We have more or less a symbiotic relationship with our earth. Symbiotic means we're attached. The earth needs us, but we need the earth. We're attached to each other. When we go out and we do things like cultivate our land, or when we build a building, we are affecting our planet. And in thus, our planet affects us. It bounces back. It's a circle. So it's not just our planet is being sacred to us. We need to be sacred to it. And in springtime, you look around and the earth is amazing, because even in the concrete jungles of New York, something's going to grow. That is an affirmation that we here are a part of Mother Earth, and Mother Earth is indeed a part of us. Even when we pass away and our bodies are placed in the earth, we are, fertilizer, because we still promote growth and life. So this being our story, I'm gonna suggest to somebody, go out and plant not a tree. I'm not going to be too monumental about that. How about get some flower seeds, plant a little, just sprinkle them somewhere and watch the magic of Mother Nature. I've seen things grow in places that I shook my head and wonder why. I have an onion plant that I don't know how it got there. I have grown tomatoes, and I could tell you a story about that I don't know how it got there. Many years ago, when I was in the Navy and I lived in San Diego, I went outside and in our alley, we lived in the back of the building, there were tomato plants everywhere. And I thought, wow, who's planting tomatoes? And a shipmate of mine says, those are brown tomatoes. I said, I'd never heard of that species of tomato. And they're like, Murray, they're brown tomatoes. And I'm like, yeah, I never heard of that. I'm still not getting it. Finally, he says, honey, what do people do in the alley? I'm like, well, they put their trash out, and they're like, Sonya, what do people do in the alley sometimes when they're drunk and, not thinking? Oh, well, yeah. which tells you the circle of life is that strong because somebody eating tomatoes, seeds and whatever, something's gonna grow. That's an affirmation, a little gross, but it's an affirmation that life is still with us and it's gonna come up out of somewhere. And in a way, it's also saying that the lady and the Lord, they love us because, yep, you didn't have any fertilizer, but you did have something and hey, you can eat. And even though it's corrosive, you could eat those brown tomatoes. I didn't want to eat them after I realized what happened, but you could if you had to. So that meant that somebody in that alley wasn't going to go hungry. Blessed be. A little gross, but blessed be. So all that being said, I want you to realize that the circle is all around you. When we get married, we put a circle on our partner's ring finger, and that ring has no beginning. It has no end, just like love. It has no beginning. It has no end. Circles are all around us. We thrive with circles. I mean, there are certain things that we know that do better because of a circle. When we burn our candles, they're round. And someone's like, well, they could be square, but they don't melt as well. I happen to know that because I do make candles. Circles melt better than the square candles because the wax doesn't go into each other that much. It kind of melt away. I don't know why. It's the magic of the shape. Go figures. Mighty funny that when we eat, we usually eat on circle plates. Okay, over the years, they got fancy with the squares, but traditionally we ate with circles because it made everybody at the dinner table equal. Okay, because when we break bread to cause us to come together as a community or as a family or as a group. And we do it on a circle so that everybody can reach over and grab a piece, which means no piece is better than the other, even though as kids, we always look for the biggest cookie, let's face it, which is also round. Here we go. We see the magic of round all around us. We just didn't even realize it. Why are cookies round? Why are donuts round? They used to not be. My grandmother used to complain. It's too hard to make a round donut because you have to flip them. But when they're round like that, the symbology is you can break off a piece and it's easier to share. And it is because it's round. The circle is magic. And even though we don't realize it or know why, we are always gravitated to a circle. We gravitated to it. We live in a circle, if you think about it, because even though we are in a circle right now with us, we belong to the greater circle of mankind. Our earth is a sphere, which is a circle. It's all around us. Whether you like it or whether you don't, you walk every day in circles with your peers, with your family, just going to the grocery store. We even find that even with herding animals, they herd better in circles. We know this. And so I say that to say all of this. Right now, the circle of life is the most sacred thing. Celebrate that circle. If, we have lost those along the way, take a moment to even think that you had them. Because even though they have died, something they did or said or a memory still became a part of you that made you a better human being. Yeah, we lost them, but they gave us a gift. And the circle continues because in their lives, in their living, it strengthened our circle. It made us better people in some way or another. Maybe you got a recipe from your grandmother. Your grandmother's gone, but you still got that recipe. That little circle of a gift that she gave you. Maybe there was a school teacher that even though you hated geometry, there's something that teacher did that improved. You went to college or you did something with that and it improved you so you could even do your inter circle. Because we all have circles within circles. And somebody touched your circle to make it a bigger circle or a better circle or a stronger circle. There's a lot of circles in the world. We can go circling all over the place. But that's the best part. We can. Right now, I can think about the words of George Washington. Not my favorite one. Let's try a better one. Let's think of, okay, Ben Franklin. I like Ben Franklin. I like that one. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. Real simple, straightforward. And yet they found later on that with pectin and everything in an apple, it actually doesn't keep the doctor away, but it makes you very healthy that you don't have to see the doctor that much. Ben Franklin did, okay? But the circle that he created with his saying still goes on. I have bifocals. Thank you, Benny. Because of him, I can go to the library. Because of the contribution he made, our circle increased and grew. We have a lot of great people and we have a lot of minor people who have contributed to our circles. So not only do we have to thank the goddess for the grass that grows and the plants and all the greenery we have around us, let us think of those who have passed away, who has contributed to us to make us better people, to improve our circles. They don't have to be famous, but they were there for us. They don't have to be, it doesn't even have to be very significant, but because they were, we are. And thus the circle continues. So give thanks to that and think about it, maybe, planting a few seeds of life on someone else's circle. Donate some old clothes to the thrift store. Give some food to the shelters for dogs and cats. Think about, donating old books to the library. Doesn't even have to be anything like that. Go say hi to your neighbor. Because believe me, it's one of these days when we're no longer here, somebody's going to say, you remember Mrs. So-and-so? She used to always come by and say hi to us. She was such a sweet lady. Do you remember how she used to do her yard like that? Yeah, I wonder how she did it. You contributed to someone's life. And believe it or not, we are here to contribute. We cannot live in a world and just take and not give. It's not a balance. It's not a circle. So whenever you do have an opportunity to give, give. Increase our circle, strengthen it. Let it keep going around and around. Because the funny part about a circle, it doesn't really go up or down. It goes continual. And we strengthen it every time it goes around. And I want to say, blessed be. Now, see, I don't know how to end these things, so I'm going to be honest with you. But I do know there's somebody, does anybody have any questions or comments? Yes. That's after, after what? See? That's it. Let us sing. Let us just give a moment to just thank deity for the circle. Blessed be. Thank you for coming.
For all that is alive, we sing our thanks and praise. For all life is a gift, which we are called to use, to build the common good, and make our own days glad. For needs which others serve, for services we give, for work and its rewards, for hours of rest and love, we come with praise and thanks. For all that is our life, for sorrow we must bear, for failures, pain and loss, for each new thing we learn, for fearful hours that pass, we come with praise and thanks. For all that is our life, for all that is our life, we sing our thanks and praise. For all life is our gift, which we are called to use, to build the common good.
Well, I would like to, let us do a benediction. I was gonna do the benediction anyway. I was gonna do questions, but I want to do that first. Okay. When we have a coven, we stand in a circle in our covens. And we do have a farewell, and I'm gonna give the usual, well, not usual, but the farewell that we always usually give when we close out a circle. May the circle be open, but never broken. May the Lord and the Lady be forever in your hearts. Merry meet and merry part, and merry meet again. Blessed be.
Sorry, I don't have the mouse today. Okay. Thank you so much, Sonia, for your valuable insights and time today. And because I don't have my script, I'm gonna just improvise this. If there are any of you who'd like to stay behind for 10 to 15 minutes of questions and comments, please do so. For the rest of you, please, you're welcome to go out into the parish hall and get some refreshments. And let's go from there. Okay, Sonia?
Okay.
We'll bring you back. All right.
I want to thank you once again, Sonia. And I want to say, what goes around comes around.
I was gonna play Billy Preston, Here We Go Round in Circles, but I decided. What are you doing?
There is an old saying that says, history does not repeat itself, but it rhymes. I want to say that having Circle of Life come booming in with this circle on what is here now, and maybe what's becoming, versus the life to come, the way those forces merged was just frickin' poetry. It of all the times we've been here, I have never heard the Circle of Life, even when it was popular, blasted like that at just this right moment to get that confluence of energy. So even while we're circling around, and sometimes as a pagan, I'm going, dear God, wouldn't it be nice to just do something linear once in a while? Because sometimes as a pagan, they make linear seem like it's insulting. But to sit there and realize that of all the dances that we've gone through in our life, that we haven't done this one yet, and that there's something new and something old and coming together, and makes it worth getting up in the morning.
Oh, of course. I like hugs. Thank you. Wow, I guess that's on me. Is there anything, anything? Oh, my Lord. Thank you. I just want to say thank you guys all for coming, because you have made my circle a little bit rounder. Oh, please, yes.
Well, I was going to mention, of course, there are a lot of circle type things to be thought of. This may seem trivial, but it's heartfelt. I remember it very well. When you feed horses, you take the bale of grass hay, you break it into natural flakes. They're about maybe 2 or 3 inches wide, and you can sail them off. And so the object is you stand in the middle with the bale and you toss as far as you can to make a huge circle of these flakes. Now, what you don't know is the horses always are patterned in terms of which one is higher in the kicking order. And you test to see if the horses are hungry. If they're hungry, they each one go to a flake and stay there and eat it.
If they aren't hungry, the lead horse takes one bite, pushes the next one, who's always standing near him because that's how they order themselves. Next one pushes on the next one. You can see the pecking order as the horses swirl around and around, trampling on the hay until it's totally, utterly smashed into the, well, in this case, we'd see it in the snow. And so you can almost visualize it as a movie as the horses are swirling around in a dance of the horses eating. Anyway, that's what I thought of.
I would like to respond to that, that it all leads to the circular cyclical in nature. Nature is cyclical. Linear is man-created. So whether it's nice to do linear once in a while or not, you can't beat natural. Nature's circle.
That's true.
Was there anyone else who'd like to come and share their thoughts today? No? Okay. And is there anyone online, Adam, who'd like to share their thoughts? Okay, last call. Oh, okay, we have one more. Bill?
This is the cranky opposite side of things. Yes, nature is circular. Yes, there's a weave to it. Yes, we find ourselves standing where we stood where we were young. But nature being circular and all that, life being a thing that ends eventually, we're still going to study and make the world a better place if we can. We're going to work on our medicine. We're going to work on how to treat each other properly. In this circular world, there's still room enough for us to take a look and say, the work of the day is to make this better. So yeah, circle of life, but never exactly a circle. But if you say circle of oblate spheroid, doesn't have nearly the poetry.
And that's what makes the world go round, right? Okay, so now if there are no further comments, then we are adjourned. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you.